You are now listening to the Kicksologist podcast.
All right, what is good, everybody? Welcome back to another year of the Kicksologist podcast, where we're doing our sneaker of the year for 2023. This year, I got guests with me. One of them is Andy0161. You can catch him on Instagram. We also have my guy, WarriorKicks26. You can catch him on YouTube and Instagram, showing his thoughts on a lot of things out there. How y'all doing today, guys?
I'm good, man. Good. Very happy to be here.
Yay. So
Yeah,
I'm glad to do a few things, y'all.
Glad we get to kind of cover the world in a way. It's like we've got views from across the world.
Facts. You guys, we tried to get connected with this, and it's so funny because I'm on the Pacific Coast. My guy Warrior Kicks is on the East Coast, and my guy Andy is from the UK. So we all trying to make sure it all works out in time wise. And sometimes it doesn't really work that way when you're like, no, it's like 10 o'clock here. What you mean it's like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock? It's so weird how we do that. And so it's nice to have like a little international flex on here so we can make sure we know like what's going on, especially because like a lot of people have like way different approaches when it comes down to their sneakers. And so it's really cool when you get like little reactions from everybody, because everybody's different. I mean, last year we had somebody whose their sneaker of the year was something more casual and not anything super duper crazy, because it doesn't have to be crazy. Again, it's based off your opinion. So we're going to actually go through this, guys. We're going to keep it real simple for you all. We're going to go down 10 to 6 individually, and then from there, from 5 to 1, we're going to go through it individually so we can break that down for you guys. So do you guys want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You go ahead. You're the host. You can kick it off.
All right. Y'all said it. So we're going to go down from 10 to 6. So my number 10 pick for sneaker of the year, I chose the Crenshaw SB Dunk. And the reason why I chose that one is because you don't really see 20-year-olds in the space kind of get their own collab with Nike. So I gotta tip my hat off when it comes down to that. And that was a really dope shoe. The funny part is I got that shoe. I got it from Nike, which is shocking because I never won anything from Nike. I wore it a few times, and I'm not gonna lie, I sold it because I couldn't know how to wear it with different things. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and send these off. Number 9 for me is, and I know a lot of people hate this pick, and I'm not going to keep it high because I've seen a lot of people put it high. The Tiffany Nike Air Force One. And the only reason why I put this on a top 10 list was because I love the debate of people trying to figure out, is $400 retail worth it? And people still went ahead and bought it. And it was like, was the pendant worth it? Was everything worth it about that shoe? Was the quality good enough? And it was one of those debates where like, can Nike really get away with this? And they did. So number 9 for me, because it obviously sold out and people really, the debate about that shoe was one of those moments where I was just like, all right, I mean, I'm not spending $400 for this shoe, but you can do what you got to do. Number 8 for me was the Zoom Vomero 5, the Dornbecker. That color pop was crazy. They gave me straight Dragon Ball Z vibes. I messed with it. I tried to get him, but every time I try to get a DB, it just doesn't work. So Dornbecker Vomero 5 for me. 7 is going to be the J Balvin 3s. Because I remember it was just like, showed some pictures, everybody went crazy. Nike did a shock drop, and that was pretty much it. But for me, I actually got a shock drop from Nike that I actually liked. Because usually for me, I usually get the denim women's Jordan 1. I get that in a shock drop. I get a random Huarache that I probably have. I get that in a shock drop. Like, I don't get anything like everybody's looking for. So the fact that I actually got that in a shock drop, and the shoe's actually dope. I like the J Balvin colorways. I don't know about you guys, but I guess some people are kind of iffy on those. But I like the J Balvins. And then for number 6, if you guys are big New Balance, Asics, Adidas fans, I do apologize. As you see behind me, I'm more of a Jordan Nike guy. I don't have many of them on my list, but this shoe from Adidas actually deserves to be on a top 10 list. and that is the Grandma Couch Rivalry Low. I feel like the story for that was actually incredible. I think both colorways, I tagged them both for both colorways. I think both of the colorways are really super dope. The fact that he was able to tie everything into that is actually really dope with Adidas, because I mean, we might talk about it later, but like Adidas without Yeezy has kind of been a little scary for them. I don't know much of what they have or anything out there, but that colorway and that collab was actually super dope for me. So that's my number 6. So who wants to go next?
Andy, you can go ahead.
Right, all right. I'll just say that though about Adidas. I think they put their eggs in one basket, and I think they thought maybe Jerry Lorenzo would pick up where Kanye left off almost, which I don't think is going to happen. But I do think that's what they were hoping for after this with Kanye. But yeah.
I agree. Totally.
So my number 10 is a shoe from the start of the year. So Jordan 2s are my favourite Jordans. Like, I know people hate Jordan 2s. For me, they're my favourite Jordan silhouette. There's nothing I'd change about them. For me, I love them. So number 10 is the Chicago's. Beautiful shoe too. So it came out right at the start of the year, but to get something so near to what it was in the 80s, I think they tried the spec to make it exactly how it was. They included the little booklet thing we used to get. So yeah, so for me, number 10 is Chicago 2s. Number 9 is the Nike Clock Cortez, the Forrest Gump colorway. The reason I've done that is that shoe's wild. Like, we can pick shoes and we can put shoes into these lists that we've seen before. There'll be something so many times that they've done this and they've done this, and it's just a different colour and they've done this. You can wear that shoe in 3 different ways. You can take it out. You can just something I've never seen before. It was just crazy. The design is wild. So I felt from a design aspect that deserved to be in a list. It deserved to be spoke about. So, and I really like them on foot. I was a bit iffy when I put them on foot. I was like, these look better than I expected them to. So yeah, they're number 9. Number 8, I'm kind of putting 2 pairs at number 8, but I think I can kind of get away with it. So it's both of the J-Tips Saucony Shadow 2s that I've just dropped now. He's had the year for me. I think when you look at somebody who collaborates with a brand, I think I have a lot of Saucony in my collection, but I've never heard people talk about the brand the way I think he's brought eyes to the brand this year. And I think that's in a world full of like Nike and Adidas, and it takes a lot to be able to do that, I think, with a brand like them. So yeah, and I got both shoes at the same, like they both dropped, they're both exactly the same but different colours, so I'm kind of cheating in a way and putting both of them at number 8. I can't really pick one. I had a nightmare with them. I got them from Germany, and they held the customs. UPS are awful. They held my shoes to ransom for a week, telling me I'd not paid my customs, but I'd paid my customs, and I had to have daily conversations with them with a reference number that proved I'd paid it, but they still wouldn't believe I'd paid it. Then I had the driver at my door trying to say you've paid for one, but I can't give you the others. It was a nightmare, but I managed to get them.
That's wild.
Absolutely crazy. Like I couldn't get my head around what more I was meant to do. I've got a reference number I can prove off my bank. Like, you can clearly see what I've paid. And the customs was ridiculous. I paid £71.96 per shoe. So all in all, to get the 2 pairs of shoes, just customs and import, I paid £140, which you're probably looking at is about $190. So I paid nearly $200 to get the shoes from Germany to England. It's not even that. I've had shoes from America much cheaper than nowhere near that. So yeah, so they're at number 8. Which one did I put? At number 7 is an Adidas shoe. Again, it's somebody I am a fan of what he did. I do think the first shoe is obviously set it all off for him. So it's the Adidas Wotherspoon Gazelles, the hemp pair.
Okay.
I think they're so nice. That intricate stitching all over it. There is not a thread on my pair that is out of place. They're beautiful. And I think the best shoe he's dropped this year. So yeah, they're my 7. Number 6 is a shoe I didn't think we were going to get here. I do have friends in America, and I thought I was going to have to try and pull a favour in and be like, can you send me this shoe over? But we did end up actually getting here. It's the Jordan Corporate Airship.
Okay.
I think the colour in
That's a
them
nice one. That's a
beautiful.
nice one.
I got a jumper.
Funny you bring that up. Funny you bring that up. I saw the sweatshirt and I was like, oh, funny he's bringing that up now.
I think it's a beautiful shoe again. I think it's just there's the colour. We don't see shoes that colour. Like I think they're just
That's true.
beautiful shoe. That little bottom on the back's a bit cheeky because I never get anything off Nike unless it's a Jordan 2. So yeah, that's them. That's it, innit? That's me 6. So that's 10-6. Right. So yeah, there we go.
All right. Well, listen, I gotta say to start off, man. My list is basically a lot of it's based off of what I was able to actually get in hand. That's
Okay.
number one. Number two, I respect like the J tips. I respect SBs, but I just don't see myself wearing those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that retrospect, like you guys having them on your list, I'm like, I sit there and I go, yeah, I can agree with it to the extent that I respect the shoe. But in any case, starting off at number 10. So the corporate airships, I actually had at my number 10. I just think with the color itself and the materials on there, plus we have a shoe now that's got some storytelling to it. And I think that's something that's been missing with a lot of kicks out here. Either there is a story and it's not being talked about enough, or they're just releasing shoes and there's no like backing to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for me, a lot of the shoes that have stories to them, those are the ones I really like the most. And corporate airships, and it was a shoe initially I passed on, but later on I kept seeing. I was like, yeah, I got to get these. And I got those at number 10. The number 9 is another airship, and that's the Ama airships. Now, me personally, I know a lot of people right now got a sour spot for Ama Maniere because of all the shipping issues that happened with the Dawn and the Dust pair. And you know what's funny is
Really bad.
I don't think we didn't have any issues like that before with any of the previous sneakers, did we? I don't.
I had an issue with the 12, but all the other ones.
12. Okay. Because I remember I hit on the 4s directly from sight. The 12s, both 12s. Actually, I got the black and burgundy for Christmas. My girl got those for me for Christmas, and the white and burgundy I picked up at a sneaker expo probably like a few months ago. You know what I mean? But it's crazy though. We got 5 different Ama Maniere pairs this year.
That is, honestly.
Right? That's, number, let's see here. So at number 8, I have the Playoff 13s. OG shoe.
Okay.
OG shoe. A shoe Mike played in. A shoe like I watched. Won it when I was young. Couldn't get them. I mean, the leather quality on them is there. Like the build is there. You know what the great part about them is this is one of the 13s that when you walk in them doesn't really squeak. You know, sometimes when you walk in 13s, you hear that. It sounds like you're walking on snow or something like that constantly.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Next, after that, another OG, man, the Cherry 12s. Cherry 12s I got in at number 7. I just think the prestige of that shoe, again, another shoe Mike wore. You know, it's been how long since we had that shoe come out? Again, it's a sneaker I wasn't able to get when I was younger. Now that these are coming out in a time where I can really get them, I mean, it's just nothing but nostalgia for me. And then here at number 6, I got the Playoff 8s. Playoff 8s, man. And it's crazy because this is probably besides the Soulfly 8s, the 1/8 that a lot of people just started to snatch off the shelves. They were actually a little hard to cop for a few people, and that was kind of surprising. Everyone thought the Cherry 12s were going to be the hard ones to cop, but the Playoff 8s surprisingly were the hard ones to cop. But again, the quality on the shoe, the way it's set up, like just with the red, the original red pull tab, you know what I mean? Like the sneaker just spoke to me in that sense. So that's what I got there at number 6.
See, that's what's up. And that's why I kind of enjoy hearing everybody's list, because everybody kind of has like a different perspective on like what should be sneaker of the year, or like what is sneaker of the year, and like because this was definitely the year of the airships, and we got a lot of airships that came in that were like really, really dope. And a lot of them are sleepers. A lot of them are
Yes.
sleepers.
Yes. I have both every game pairs. I got the Tech Gray. I got the Real Tree camos, the Amas, the corporates.
How'd
And
you
next
feel?
year, from what I go
How'd you
ahead,
feel about the Nigel? Because I know everybody was
the Nigel.
upset that thought Nigel was supposed to be on that every game pair, and then it ended up like, nah, that's like a friends and family. So how were you feeling about that? 'Cause I know a lot of people were
I,
upset.
honestly, when I saw it, I mean, it wasn't. Yeah, it said Bike Air versus every game. I mean, to me, like I looked at it as okay, well, we have a North Carolina Chicago pack. You know what I mean? Like as great as that Bike Air, it's a different concept, right? But when you look at it, it's not any different than the Carolina Blue every game pair, right? It's just different stitching. And then, what is it, on the lateral side down by the mudguard area to put an extra little swoosh on there. But everything else, from my understanding, all seems to be the same. Leather quality, like all that. So, I mean, yeah, it'd been great to have an opportunity to cop that shoe, but to me, I don't feel like I'm missing out. That's how I saw it.
And Andy, I just gotta tell you, my man, that shipping story, I thought I had it bad. That shipping story is
I was
that's
at work.
insane.
I had my girlfriend at the door on the phone while I'm trying to talk to the UPS guy on the phone to try and convince him that I have actually paid the money. Like it was ridiculous.
I don't understand how they bring the package.
They'd give me a day that they were meant to come, which was it the 22nd, Friday the 22nd of December, I think it was the original date they were meant to come. I'd rung them on the Thursday. I said, like, are they going to be here? Like, are they coming? They said, oh yeah, everything's absolutely fine. Tell the driver that you've paid, it'll be fine. And I said, right, okay. But later on in the conversation, I said, so is the driver going to deliver the shoes then if he thinks I've not paid? And they said no. I said, right, sorry, how do I tell him when he's at my door if he's not going to be at my door because he thinks I haven't paid? So it got to Friday. I was already a bit like, I'm not sure what's going on. The time window was 10 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. That time had come and gone. So when I rung them, they said, yeah, your shoes are still in Germany. I said, why are my shoes still in Germany? They said, because you haven't paid the customs. I said, all week you've known I've paid the customs. We've been doing this daily, every day. Like, so yeah, I got them, not yesterday, day before, I think it was. But it took them 10 days. 10 days they had my shoes for.
So it was moving all that time and then stopped because they didn't have it.
The story is so much longer. So I bought 2 pairs and so I got tracking and then apparently I had to pay my customs for 1 pair. So I've rung them up to pay my customs and they've gone, yeah, that's fine, do it over the phone. So I paid it over the phone. I said, can I pay for the next pair?
Okay.
They said, no, they're not in the UK. You have to wait till they get in the UK. I said, why have they not sent them out together? We don't know. I said, right, okay, when do you think they'll be in the UK? Oh, tomorrow, we can see them on the way. They'll be here tomorrow. Ring up and pay tomorrow. Okay. So I ring and pay tomorrow. I ring them up. I've seen on my tracking, this, that and the other. They said, oh yeah, it's impossible. You have to go online. You can't pay over the phone. Sorry, what? It's impossible to pay over the phone. How is it impossible? I did it yesterday. No, it's impossible. No.
Wow.
I was given a tracking reference number. So this has been even bigger than they were telling me that can't have happened. So I was like, well, there's 2 options here. Either I'm lying to you or you're calling me a liar. So we're going to have to decide which. But I have proof that I've made the payment. I can show a bank statement. So this has been going on from literally the first day of. A few days later, they acknowledged it. I said, oh, so it does seem like the impossible is possible. I could pay for it over the phone, but they still just wouldn't update it on the thing. So I could see that one that I did go online and pay for, because apparently it's impossible to pay over the phone. I could see straight away paid for. The one I paid for over the phone, it just wasn't uploaded online, so it was constantly still saying. So that had been the argument the whole week. So even with them saying, so that's when I got to the point at the end and I was like, what do you mean my shoes are in Germany? Because apparently a few days ago I couldn't pay for that pair until it was in the UK, so it must have been in the UK for me to pay for it. Otherwise I could have paid for both of them in the first place. So this is it's been ridiculous. We all buy a lot of shoes. This has been the most ridiculous thing I've had. We deal with postage services all day long, but this has been the most ridiculous thing they've said to me, and it's just made me go, what? How can I not pay for them in the UK? But you pay for them, but now they're in Germany. What does that even mean? Like, there's just,
Damn.
I just didn't get it at all.
That is insane.
But I'm glad I've got them now, though.
I've never heard of such a story before. That's
I will
wild.
never complain
by
about
choice, it wouldn't
eBay
use you,
shipping again.
Yeah, that's all it is. Oh,
Wow.
That is
The thing
insane.
is, how come if you bought them at the same time, how come they just didn't put them both in one box?
I
Why
know, right?
ship them in
I
two
know.
different boxes?
So, when they said it to me, and they said, yeah, it's £71, and I was like, right, okay, for both. And they said, oh no, it's two separate things. And, what? You're going to charge me £140? They said, well, yeah, it's 32%, it's 20% customs and 12% import. I said, well, that's 32%. That's 32%.
Wow.
But £70 off £140 is 50%. Like, it's literally easy maths. Like, 70 at 70 is 140. So you're charging me 50% on both shoes. So I basically paid for 3 pairs of shoes, but got 2.
Yo.
Damn.
This is Brexit. This is what's happened since Brexit. We used to be able to just come from Europe, and it was just it cost. It was the same £6 or whatever postage. Brexit has done
Damn.
no favour to anyone.
Yeah, I'll never
Wow.
complain about shipping again. Never.
Wow.
Never. That's crazy.
But you learn tricks
Wow.
on them. Like, I have a lot of friends in Pittsburgh who I'll send stuff to if they want stuff that releases only here, and they will do the same with me. They'll send me stuff. But over the years, we've learned tricks to do, so we'll label that it was much cheaper than what it is, and it's a birthday gift. No one pays nothing then, it's literally just that simple postage. There's no customs and imports and stuff.
Hmm.
Really?
Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting to know.
Wait, I don't know if I could be saying this, you know, but yeah, there is ways around, not paying it.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm never gonna complain about shipping again. I usually only complain about sometimes Goat, when you order something off Goat, they send it to like the nearest facility to get authenticated, and then they send it off. And eBay does it where they send it to the closest authentication facility to you, and then they send it to you, so it gets to you faster. The only thing with eBay is they use FedEx, and FedEx likes to take 2 weeks to finally get it to the authenticator. And I'm just like, yo, I can't. Yeah, that takes
So
forever.
I think I've only bought like 1 or 2 shoes from eBay. Everything else has come from Goat and a few from StockX, but yeah, wow, that's crazy that the shipping's like that.
Yeah, it's super weird. I'm just like, yo, like it's either way, depending on how you see it, it kind of takes a minute. I know during like the holiday season, you're just gonna wait a long time just to do it. But like the fact that like I had a pair of shoes sit in Arizona for 3 days, and I was like, are these things moving? Like, what's going on? Like, there's no update. Like, what's happening? I know where I get like authenticated, and I'm like, how to get authenticated if they're in Arizona? And then I get a DHL tracking time to get them the next day. And I'm like,
Yes.
come on, like what is
So I've had that before. I forgot what shoe it was where, it was being shipped DHL. Ordered through Goat, being shipped DHL, and when you got the package, it did say like most of the stuff, like apparently the shoe came all the way from China.
I've only ever bought 1 pair of shoes off StockX. There's consignment stores and stuff where when I'm looking at price wise or whatever, it generally works out easier that I can just buy something more local, I suppose. But I wanted the Titan Jordan 2s.
okay?
The only pair that I bought off there, and it probably took 5 weeks from me buying them to turning up, about 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
5 weeks is crazy.
Damn.
5 weeks is crazy.
5 weeks.
I expected it to take a bit of time, but like, no, I didn't expect to be waiting over a month.
With the way StockX authentication, should have been faster.
Speaking of, so you saw that clip I posted from, it was at Got Soul too. I kept looking at it, and then I noticed the little Got Soul backdrop over in the left-hand corner. So, Eddie, I don't know if so there's a video floating around right now. It's these 2 guys standing there, and they're trying to authenticate, I think, a pair of lost and found ones.
I've
that
liked
some
both of
guys
them.
brought to them.
I've seen it on your page and liked it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's wild the way he went through it. It was just like, yeah, these are legit. These are legit. As soon as they asked him, so no tag, no UV light, I was already like,
Yep.
okay, where's this going? And he goes, yeah, that's fake. I was like, oh,
I like how
that's
his friends
bad.
looked at him. That was the bit I liked. How when they said it, his friend stood next to him was a bit like,
Yep.
Yeah. But that's, what's crazy is so I, like, for example, I got a SneakerCon Fort Lauderdale coming up here next week, Saturday.
Okay.
Right. And I'm going down to that. Now I was at Got Soul Miami, and what's interesting though is that a lot of those legit checks that you see get posted, especially from like eBay, a lot of that, from my understanding, is all, they control it.
As it should be.
So, yeah, right? Because, there are people who have tried to like videotape when eBay is trying to authenticate their shoes, and they say, no cameras, no cameras. You know what I mean? So that right there, like I said, like the fact that they were letting them film that and that happened, I was like, ooh, that's bad. Now, I don't know how many people caught on to the fact that it was at a Got Soul event too, because it like you got to be paying attention for it to see the banner in the background, because it's like quick that it pops up, and I didn't notice it until like way after.
See, for me, StockX, I never purchased off StockX, and the only reason why was, for some reason, I don't know why. For some reason, it just never felt right for me to purchase off StockX. Like, it was like, I'd rather not. And I don't know if it's because people were saying that they don't authenticate right. Because I'm one of those people who are like, if you don't work at Nike, it's hard to authenticate something, because if you don't know all the tips and tricks and this thing here and this stitching is supposed to be like this way, it's hard. Because what I used to do is I used to post terrible photos of people's sneakers and see who would try to be like, oh, those are fake, or those are this. And I was like, it's easy for people to try to like legit check things. And it's like, how do you know? I was at Rodeo Drive, where all the fancy rich people want to shop. It was in a Louis Vuitton store. This man was dropping 4K on some Louis Vuitton bags, and he happened to have Dior ones on. And so I took and this was like years ago, so like cameras weren't as good as quality as they are now. So I had the most grainiest, exactly. I had the most grainiest picture ever. And everyone was like, oh, this man buying this with fake Dior's, fake Dior's, fake Dior. Those are fake. And I was like, how can you tell with this terrible photo?
Exactly. Everybody, listen, but that's kind of like err on the side of caution. Just call them fake until told otherwise.
Facts.
That's how I feel. But sometimes though, you're out and like I've gone up to because I live here in Florida, right? I'm going up to the outlets up in Orlando, and you'll see people walking around in some shoes, right? And I've seen a few walking around in Dior's, but they look deep and they're on like 12-year-old kids. I'm like, ain't no way. I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, there's no way.
Especially 12-year-old kids. I'm not dropping.
I'm like, who's dropping that?
I've seen a woman who was old enough to be somebody's grandparents on a tram going into my town centre, and she had the Dior Jordan 1s on. No, I was like, no, like.
But you know what? Here's the thing, though.
Not to like put it on social media, but I wanted to kind of show my friends of just just the leggings and the what she was wearing just didn't go with the shoes. But I wanted to just send it to my friends as if like, look what's on the tram, look at this. But then I was also I don't want to be that guy who's on the tram like trying to.
Yeah,
but see, then you got people like Kanye who rock the minimalist outfits all the time, right? They look like, basically look like homeless people were wearing them. He just traded and got those and was walking around. Cause you remember like they had the sweatshirts with the holes in them. Yeah, that was like big for a while. And look at look at the shoes that Balenciaga was putting out. Then beat up what were those? I want to call them PF flyers, but the Converse joints. The Converse joints.
I remember.
Well, I don't know.
You remember the Converse? They're all torn up, and they were selling them for like $400-500.
That golden
Yeah.
goose,
And
well, it looks like a 1-star, and it looks like you've gone outside and just stood in everything you can stand in, and that's now ready to sell. And they sell it for £500,
Right.
and you just don't know
That's-
who they are. I don't know what the mindset is though
It
when
is.
you buy that. Like, do you look at them and go, they look top, they look so used. That's exactly what I wanted out of a brand new shoe I'm gonna overpay for. Like, I don't know who the market is.
I don't get it. I mean,
know.
during that time with Kanye, I'll say this before I move to 5. During that time with Kanye, we had went to Portland, Oregon, and we were like, "Oh, let's go out there to spend some time, just randomly, some random place." And when I tell you, the most homeless looking person looked like they had a whole Yeezy fit on, I was like, "Should you be asking for money? Are you sure you need it?" Like. You
Damn.
got the whole fit. You got the whole Yeezy fit. And then there's people who tell me, like, because there's this person who was with us who was from that area, and he was like, "Nah, you don't know who's homeless or not. That's just the style." And everybody was just kind of looking the same, and I was like, "This is wild."
That's
you really didn't know. Like, this man asked me for change, but yo, you look dripped down with Kanye.
Nah. See, it's not like that here in Florida, New York City area. Nah, you wouldn't see people like that at all, man. Even Philly, I could say the same thing about Philly too. Being from that area, like that's wild though to see that it's like that out there.
It's not the best. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not the best.
Damn.
But I'll go to number 5. So my
Let's go.
number 5 pick for sneaker of the year, and the only reason I put this at number 5 was because I just loved the rollout. Was the Doritos Nike SB. I was filling the little box with the Doritos juice in there, and you had the little crate and stuff, and they did all this with the materials and everything.
Yo,
I was like, yo, you put some effort into this.
they put a ton of effort into that.
A ton of effort into it. And the thing that got me the most was it was one of the only shoes from that year that I had to buy resale, because for some reason I just knew I wasn't copping it. I just knew out of all that I entered probably like 20 plus little raffles, and I didn't win not a single one. And I kind of knew, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna bite the bullet, and I'm gonna pay resale for these. And it usually hurts every time I do it. I'm like, I don't want to, I'm just gonna do it. And I knew the Nike release was the next day, and I was like, I know I'm not copping it. So I hit up I got it for like a reasonable, I think it was like $340 or something like that. And I was like, I'll just cop it, whatever. I'll take my L. So I got it.
That's cheap now.
That's cheap now.
That's cheap. And you wear a big foot, right?
Yep.
What size are you?
11.5.
So, oh yeah. 340 for those? Yeah, that's cheap.
I got them 340.
You got a bargain.
Got them like a little bit quicker than usual, but I got them, and I was like, okay, great. When I told you, because I usually go back and check to see if I made like a decent investment. I was like, okay, did I overpay? Because you know how everybody gets their pairs, and sometimes the prices drops. So like, did I overpay? Because then I feel terrible when I do that. And then at the time, I know it kind of like went down a little bit, but I looked back and it went up to 900, and I was like, hey, yo, what are we doing? What are we doing?
That is one shoe, like, in my opinion, like everything surrounding it. Like, it's not just the shoe. Like, you gotta have the sodas, you gotta have the special box, like all that together. Just again, the storytelling with that.
Mm-hmm.
The storytelling on there.
It's nice. So what about you guys? What's your number 5?
Andy, you want to go?
Go. So my number 5 is obviously Jordan 2s are my favourite Jordans. So mine was the cool grey Jordan 2s.
Okay.
They're my number 5. So they actually didn't drop here. I had a friend in Pittsburgh actually sent them me over. Towards it, we had all the Jordan 2s have dropped here. It's only really in this year, like the last 2 or 3 years, we've had everything that everyone else has had. they become a lot more limited with the pairs that we do get and don't get. Which, I mean, I can still get hold of them. It just means messing about. But yeah, that pair didn't drop here. I knew I wanted them from the promo picks. Yeah, I had to have a friend assist me and send them over there. The material on them is beautiful. In hand, they're probably one of my favourite Jordan 2s. And I've got 40 pairs of Jordan 2s, maybe more. Like, they're probably one of my favourite pairs, I think. My shoe the Jordan 2, it was the Maison Chateau Rouge Jordan 2. That was
that was a good one. Yeah. That was a good one.
I like this.
I didn't go after those, but that was a good one.
But yeah, so that's my number 5.
Let me ask you this before I get to mine. Did you happen to get the Jordan 2 wings?
Yeah.
The ones that were yeah. Bro, that shoe right there. Those were nice.
On the back, like,
oh yes, yes, I love those. I love those
as well. Oh, that's his favourite silhouette, so they kind of brought that shoe out for him. I think if you're a 2s fan, you kind of have to have that shoe because of the backstory of kind of who he is and what the tribute to. It's yeah.
So my number 5, I actually went with the Travis Scott Little Olives.
Okay. That's
my number 5. I first off, that is the first Travis Scott I was able to hit for retail.
That's
for retail. Well, I can't even say my girl hit on it.
That's
so it's a definite in my size.
It's teamwork. It's teamwork.
But man, I have to say, like, I love the frags are probably my favorite out of all of them. Because I like the contrast of the blue, the black, and the white. But these here, I would have to probably say, are a close second as far as Travis Scott's are concerned. I just think that the contrast of color, the sail, the white, the olive green in there, like the way they just set that up, and then the different laces that came with it. I keep looking down because I got them sitting right here. But yeah, I mean, like, just the way that whole shoe turned out, and granted, it's probably, I think, the highest stock level we had for Travis Scott, if I recall. I think it was the most pairs they made.
I think it was
out of all of them, and it was also supposed to be the last. Remember? Mm-hmm. And now they're bringing them back out with like that canary yellow and then the black olive, which, you know, we'll see how things go as far as that's concerned moving forward. But I mean, because I just think out of a lot of the pairs, like, that was just a great pair we got this year.
So I didn't actually put any Travises on my list this year, which is weird. Usually I have a Travis somewhere. I like that. For my 4th one, I went with I'm looking at, because I feel like I want to switch something, but I might not. I went with the Born and Raised Dunks. And the reason why I went with those were the fact that he got his collab. The shoe was dope. He got the collab. And I know there's some people who were on the fence about it at first. And there's some people who really, really liked them. And then when the owner passed away, and they were just like, what do we do with this shoe? Out of nowhere, like, everybody just now wanted it, you know? And then it sucked because he put so much effort in that design. I think that design was actually really clean and really dope. And it was a shoe where I was like, this is going to be in my top 5. I know it, but it's kind of like bittersweet to put it in my top 5 only because of what transpired after his passing. I mean, the resale market skyrocketed. Like, StockX and GOAT had to pull them and tell them, no, we can't sell these right now. Like, and which was dope that they did that, because, you know, when Virgil passed or when Kobe passed, like, everything always skyrockets up, and it always takes a minute for these companies to be like, oh wait, we're not going to sell them because we want to respect their legacy. Yeah. And I was like, why do you wait
after that initial spike?
After you make your money.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we gotta stop selling.
Yeah. Oh, no, we gotta chill real quick. Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, definitely a top 5 shoe to me. It's bittersweet for it only because of the passing, but it just shows just like how the resale market just. I mean, we're not talking about resale in this episode, but just how the resale market always just kind of just
I mean, listen,
takes yeah.
it's a part of sneakers, though. You have to. You're not getting away from it.
It's facts.
You're not getting away from it, right? But let me ask you this, though, because we're talking about people passing away. What do you think is going to happen if the unfortunate event like that happened to Kobe were to happen to LeBron? Do you see the same thing happening with his sneakers?
Yeah.
That, yes, definitely. And the funny part that you said that is, I don't, okay, so you guys know about the Nike basketball hype, what used to be. You seen people wearing Nike basketball shoes with denim and like whole fits, like we was wilding back then. But I don't see people wearing LeBrons like that anymore. Like, not at all. If you're not hooping, I don't see anybody wearing LeBron like that.
I barely see him wearing hooping too. That's
true. Everybody's wearing Kobe's now. So I do agree, if something would have happened to LeBron, his stuff, his Zoom soldiers that he kind of brings out every once in a while, everything would have probably blew up, skyrocketed, and I was like, y'all don't even wear these. Like, I can go to outlets and find LeBron is just chilling, 30% off.
Chilling.
We've had a period though where so a lot of like basketball shoes, they were looking at trying to market two things at once, as well as it being a basketball performance shoe, also transcending into the lifestyle shoe as well at the same time.
Correct. Yep.
Which Jordan has completely marketed, like of how many daily you see it daily. It's normal to see this, and I think a lot of brands tried that for a long time. Some hit, some didn't, but I think over the last couple of years, from what I see almost like they've gone back to what they really should be. I see many more people now, as even when it's their first shoe or however many they're going performance shoe, they've kind of relaxed a bit on the lifestyle and they're going for what the shoe really should be used for.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think trying see that, and that's the thing though, because when you look at the sneakers now, like they're very aerodynamic looking. You know, they're very much set up to kind of wrap around the foot, which was kind of what they were looking to achieve. Remember with the foam posits, because the foam posits were designed to kind of mold to the foot, right? That's part of the reason why you have that $240 price tag on the foam posits, because that technology in there is designed to mold to the foot, which isn't something you have from any of the other sneakers right out there. And so when you look at, performance-wise, if you look at the original silhouettes, like 1 through 14, I mean, 14 is probably the closest you'll get to something of modern-day style-looking performance, but genuinely speaking, those old silhouettes compared to the things we're getting now, like, they don't really compare on the court as far as performance is concerned. Right? So while, you'll see people still play in Jordans because, it's still a cool thing to do. That's why you see more people just wearing them casually than actually going out doing things athletically in them because of the way they were built.
That's true, because them shits hurt. Those hurt. I think I put a pair of 10s on because I was like, oh, these are older. I'm just going to hoop real quick. And when I got back to the house, I was like, it wasn't even the best. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Andy. I think you're next.
Oh, so is it my number 5? No, 4. Sorry. So my number 4 is, like we say, with backstories or with a shoe. So this is the only SB dunk I've put in mine, and it's the Run the Jewels SB dunk. And I don't care. I'll have it either because I'm a huge LP fan from back in the Company Flow days with like, that's where I got a lot of my music taste from when I was a kid, was people like LP. So the fact that like it's like the De La Souls, when somebody that you've listened to that's been a big part of it taste for so long gets to shoot that, for me, put them above every other SB this year. no matter what I thought of the look of another one or whatever, the fact that LP, like the stuff I'd listened to since, yeah. So yeah, and obviously I bought both. So either, I'd put either in, I don't mind.
Nice.
I know details, well, what little hidden details, like when you lift up, like you've got like his birthday and stuff, and the date him and his girlfriend got together. You know, if you lift up the insole, it's got all the little details in it.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, either. I just don't understand why the lows didn't come with a pink lace, because I've swapped the pink lace from the highs into the lows and it looks top, and I'm just like, why would you have not done this? The shoe begs for a pink lace. Like, why would you?
Facts.
There's some sneakers that get dropped that I'm just like, why didn't they include this color lace in it? Or why not even a set of extra laces at all? Like the Palomino ones, no extra laces in them.
Yeah.
That was weird.
That made absolutely no sense. I'm like, all right. But UNC toes, you gave it to us. What else had extra lace? I think True Blues had extra laces in them. The wash pinks, the wash blacks.
Mm-hmm.
Palomino's no extra laces.
Nope. They're playing it cheap on us for the ones we want.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? So for me, at number 4, I have the Ama Manier Dawn pair. Ama 5 Dawn pair is mine. And you know, it's funny, when I was talking about the shoe before, people were like, you're picking the Dawns over the Dusk, and I'm like, look at the way they created them now. Yes. I'm like, when you really look at the Dusk pair, and I had the Dusk pair, right? And I like it, but I don't like it more than the Dawn pair, because to me, they've got a couple extra details in there that I feel like they should have gave to the Dusk. For example, why did you not match the Nike Air and the 2.3 to the color of the shark teeth? Why did you black it out?
Yeah.
And instead of that, then you give us Ama Manier on the air bubble, which, you know, if you actually wear the shoe a decent amount of time, at some point that's wearing off of that air bubble.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yep.
That didn't make any sense to me. And just overall, I just felt like, you know, again, like the storytelling that came with the Dusk and the Dawn pairs, I think it's really great. Like, Ama Manier is really top notch as far as storytelling is concerned when it comes to their kicks.
I agree. I agree. They put a lot of effort in their stuff. A lot of effort, and especially what's going on with them now, it kind of takes away from what they do, because like, yeah. I know that they're doing their thing and they're gonna fight it and all that stuff, but like, because of what's going on, a lot of people are just like, okay, like, that's a great shoe, but we're not gonna give it the shine it deserves.
I think it's
yeah, I would have to say with the case here. Go ahead, Andy.
Well, people same thing with Marcus Jordan, or didn't they, with them trophy rooms?
Oh, don't even get me started on that. Don't even get me started on that.
People still wanted them, though. It didn't take away the fact that people still wanted them.
But see, did people still want them because they actually liked them, or because that resale price was up there?
Well, I think that's a huge conversation.
And that's the rub with all these shoes. Like, for example, right, with the Born and Raised Dunk. Okay. How many people were really in love with that shoe prior to them hearing of the untimely death of the guy?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the fact that he you know, passed away in such a tragic, you know, accident boosted the visibility of the shoe, because people were looking at them and they kind of liked them. It was kind of like them, but then people fell in love with them after the tragedy happens, and then that, you know, we may not actually end up selling these, and then there were a few actually floating around out there on the market that some resellers already had prior to the release date. You know, so the prestige started to go up. Was, we may not even get this shoe now, blah, blah, blah. And then they released it.
Yep.
And then it was a mad dash to try to have something that Nike thought about not even releasing at all.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? So
I was backwards and forwards with some guy on eBay about buying the MF Doom Dunks, and it was about £320. And at that point, I still wanted them cheaper. So we were doing this backwards and forwards negotiation thing. MF Doom passed, the shoe went up to nearly £2,000.
Yo.
And that's one of them only shoes where there's not many shoes I feel like I've missed out on that. Like, I'm really bothered about. Like, you know, I can let them go. If I haven't got them, it is what it is. That's that one shoe that I still, every time I see, oh man, like, yeah. I wish instead, because I'm never spending £2,000 on a pair of shoes that are too old for me to probably wear for the next hour. But like, it's not happening.
Yeah, I had a pair of Kobe's like that. It was Kobe Grinches, and I wanted it. I always wanted them, but I was like, I'm just gonna see what happens. They're not. It's not because Kobe's didn't resell like that back then before he passed. So I was like, I can wait on those. If I need to spend something on something, I'm gonna get something I know I need to get now, and I'll just wait on some Kobe's. And then when I see a pair that I can either restore or whatever, I'll grab them at a good price. There was a pair of Kobe Grinches that was $180, and they needed a repaint. They weren't in the best condition, but I was like, I can restore those. That's fine. Like whatever. So I sent an offer in, and it was on eBay. I sent the offer in, and I was waiting for a response. Didn't get a response. And then the next day, Kobe had passed. The shoe was relisted. It went from that $180 price point to $600. Wow. In the condition it was in. Not even seeing the other Kobe models that aren't the most popular skyrocket to 400. I even seen some shoot up to 1,000. But just seeing how bad that pair was, and then it just shot up to 600, I was like, absolutely not.
Damn.
Absolutely not.
I bet it's still sold.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
I'm sure it did. Did it have the swooshes on it?
It still had those swooshes on it. It was just one of those shoes. I was like, okay, I know you hooped in these, so I'm definitely not to like clean up some scuffs and do that. But at $600, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's wild. That's wild.
It's craziness. For my number three, and it's interesting you put these on your list. I put the J Tips Saucony grid, the 2000s. I put those on there. Only for the fact of like you said earlier, they don't really get much love on that brand, and that colorway, as loud as it is, and it's loud, right? It's one of those pairs where it's like, how can I make this work without doing too much? It's a dope pair. So I was like, no, this is top 3 right here. This pair is like insane. It's like for me, I got a pair of Chunky Dunkies, right? As much as I love that pair, it's hard to match that pair because you have a cow print on it, and when you try to make something work and you're doing too much, it just makes the whole fit look crazy. So that's one of those pairs, like, I have to admire from afar. Like, that is really dope, but I cannot make that work.
It's a hype beast pair.
I cannot make that
That's
work.
exactly what it is. It's a hype beast pair.
I have a lot of, I mean, if you could look on my Instagram and go down, some of the pairs are fucking ridiculous, you know, like, but I learned a long time ago, all black everything. When your shoe is wild, just all black everything. As soon as you let your feet fall, that's all you need.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Although, you know what, the Saucony, I have to say, like, if your outfit was majority white too, like for the summer, that would pop too.
That's true.
That would pop too, right? Decent. I don't know what color socks you rock with them, but
gotta keep it simple.
But you might have to go to the below ankle socks.
It's one of those pairs that is definitely hyped, definitely dope. I will love you from afar, but you probably won't be in the collection. But I can appreciate you at the same time, but I'm probably not gonna buy it. I just feel like once I put that on, I'm like, because there's some shoes that I've seen just going to outlets and just like trying them on. You kind of look in the little shoe mirror and it's like, yeah, it's doing too much.
Yeah.
But it's doing too much. It's dope, but it's doing too much. You gotta put it back. Like, there was a Nike Dunk and they made like the swoosh like was it a shark fin or like a actual
Oh
shark?
yes, it's a SB. I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
Yeah, the
so
SB. Yeah.
I put those on, and I was like, these are cool. Nah, I gotta put these back. I gotta put these back.
My, li-
Random shark on my thing.
my little boy's only 2, and he's got a pair of them, and he gets so many compliments when he's wearing them. Like so I think on a kid it works. On a little kid, the little
Yes.
white dunks with a shark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
See?
have to say, like, yeah, for a kid, probably.
For kid, yeah. For me, nah. It's like the what they say, like the Craig Sager 5s or what they're trying to do. Them 5s are just loud. Like if a kid wore those, perfect. Me as a grown adult, I don't know how I could.
The same about the Jeremy Scotts. I don't understand how an adult can wear them. Like,
Well, see,
with the
see
wings,
for my
like wow, like I just like it is literally a bit wow. You left your house cool, like wow.
see,
They're
for
stoppers though. You'll see somebody wearing it, and you'll be like, "Hey, he got on the Jeremy Scotts, or he got on the J-tip, or he got on these." But it's like, not me.
Yeah, but see, for my number 3, people said the same thing though.
Okay.
People said the same thing for my number 3. Am I able to go or?
Yeah, go yeah.
Yeah.
So the Spider-Man 2.0s Into the Spider-Verses.
Okay.
That's my number 3 right there. And people will try to say the same thing about those. Well, oh, they look like little kid shoes and all that. Nah.
I think I got them
To
right
see-
here too.
Yep. Got them right here.
Right
Here, man. I love this pair.
Same.
This is my number 1 Jordan. This is my number 1 Jordan for the year. I don't care what no one says.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, this is my number. I did a top 5 Jordan 1s, and this right here was my number 1.
I'm a fan.
This was
I'm
my
definitely
number
a fan.
1. Like I like first off, it just like the original. This one went with the movie. You saw. Now here's the thing though, the original Jordan 1s, they never showed up in the movie, did they? The original Spider-Mans. The original
No,
Spider-Man Jordan
I think so.
1s.
I think he just wore like Chicago's. I don't think that they actually not that one.
Exactly. So these actually showed up like in the movie, right? That's number 1. Number 2, like the glow outsole, like the way they just set this whole thing up. The only thing that I said on there that I wish these things had was a special box. That's the one thing they were missing.
Yes.
That's the one thing they were missing. Now the only reason why, like, but they gave us the original black and the black and the black and red box. Now technically, that is the color of his uniform, so it technically goes, right? Technically. But a legit, actual, box would have went better with him.
And if the wrapping paper was done like a web instead, that would have
Yeah.
been
Oh,
Yes.
I didn't even think about that. That would have been nice.
It's
Yes.
those details.
different.
Yes.
If they'd
That's
done
a
that, I mean, we know what social media is like when it comes to like new shoes dropping, this, that, and the other.
Oh,
If they'd had detail, that would have that's all you would have heard of for however long would have been the paper. It's done like
That's
a web.
This shoe got hell when they first did the first look.
Yep.
This shoe
Yep.
got hell.
People were hating them.
It was, now granted, they were terrible photos. It's always terrible photos when they first leak. But this shoe definitely deserves more love. I'm actually really upset that I didn't put this on my list. I'm actually really upset that I didn't put these on my list.
Man.
So,
Yo, you know what else someone tried to tell me? And I thought it was legit, but when you look at the collar area here, if you take a look at the circles, I could have sworn this was 3D print and you needed 3D glasses for it, because that's what it kind of looks like.
It does.
With the
That's what I
overlayers, I actually bought a pair of 3D glasses to see if it did it, and unfortunately it didn't. But that would have been a dope. That would have been dope too, though, if you had like 3D stuff popping off of it. I just would have went all with that whole Spider-Verse thing, right? Like,
Agreed.
I disliked them originally when the promo pictures come out and stuff. I was one of them people that was like, no, dead shoe. the more as time went on, then I started to see on foot. Then I saw them in real life, and I was like, no, okay, they're actually a nice shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hated the initial photos. I hated the initial photos.
Yeah, that I've changed my mind on from my initial thought. Shall I do my number 3?
Go for it.
So my number 3, every other shoe that I've mentioned so far, I own. This is the one shoe that in the list that I don't own, but I think it's wild. It's everything I'd want a shoe to be. It's just, it makes no sense, and it's wild, and just, yeah. The Cactus Plant Flea Market Flea 2.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
That's
Whoosh. Just, they're weird. Like, they just, and I
high.
look on my thing, you see that I've got a bit of a random taste. I'm like, I like a bit weird.
Wow.
Right up my street. When I first saw them, I was like, that's ridiculous. The shoe is ridiculous, but with the right fit, they will look so good. Yeah, they didn't drop here. They did that very small drop in America. They didn't drop here. I kept my eye on them. There wasn't prices. They were like, we were talking about other shoes before that do this. If you don't get them at that point, then they skyrocket. So they've gone from being about £250 here to between £400 and £600, which I'm probably not paying for them, but I'm not paying that. But yeah, I think for something new, again, like with the Cortez, I think to do something just completely different that we don't see every year, it was a standout design this year. And I think if you were to think of what's been the more weird looking type of things, who's tried something new but not been on the level of like try to sell socks. Yeah, that's it for me. That's my number 3.
I like that pick because those shoes, when I first seen them, like, these joints are hideous. Like, what are we doing? And then when I start seeing like people like shaving them and then like doing their little custom how they wanted it and then adding the swoosh, I was like, I get it now. And I've always been like watching to see if I'll get a pair, so I was like shaving it up. I just never bought one, but that's interesting. You put that in number 2.
Do you mean the green ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
They were last year. No, I mean do you know the black ones that look like a hiking shoe? It's got
He's talking about the ones that look like a submarine on your foot.
Yeah,
oh, okay. That's
the ones with the
Okay. Those joints. Okay, now those joints right there.
That's why I was like, that's an interesting pick.
That's
Number
an
2.
interesting one. I don't think you could stub a toe in those joints. Those things.
Wait, the tread is. I don't even know if you can fall. I think you'd wobble.
Those are nice though. I mean, I wouldn't. Those are one of those shoes. Like it's like the other pair. Like, I have to admire the pair. I don't know if I can pull that off, but those.
I couldn't. I could not. I know I couldn't.
That was a long time ago though. I mean, what I'm wearing now. Like, not a lot of people. Like, we all have Crocs around the house. Mine are wild.
What? Those are like the shaggin' wagon. Bro, damn.
You're not the first
Right,
person.
you know what? I got remember the movie Dumb and Dumber where they had the van?
Yes.
Yeah.
The van was all fur. That's the first thing that came to mind when I seen those. Although, listen, but not for nothing. I also was like, damn, they look kind of clean though.
That's true.
They look clean. They look warm. It's gotta be cold where you're at.
Oh, it's freezing.
Okay.
Well, there you go. See? Perfect.
So yeah, that's mine.
Okay, I think for my number 2, I got them right here. So my number 2 is gonna be a little, I wouldn't say controversial, but this is gonna be my number 2. And the reason why this is my number 2 is for nostalgia reasons. And I know people hate that when it comes to putting top shoes of shoes that we've gotten before. I know they didn't add much to it, but you know, you get the Nike Air on the back, little aged midsole, the aged back tab. But this Air Jordan 3 Reimagined, and the reason why this shoe is so significant to me is because this shoe was the shoe I remember when I was because like, again, the shoes are here, but like before the shoes, I was a Michael Jordan fan. I was a Michael Jordan fan before the shoes. I grew up watching him and everything. And I even have the video back here. I can grab it. Where he
Did
got
that
the
come
shoes
from me in
on.
1990?
Yep.
The what? Sorry.
Yes, I have that same tape.
And I used to watch this as a child non-stop, right?
Yes.
Non-stop. And
Yes.
I always told myself, I'm going to get a pair of these. And every time I would try to get a pair at the time, but back before the market became what it is now, they were like a little up there, and I was like, I'll wait. And then the one that came out was the one with the Jumpman in the back. I got that pair, but for some reason that didn't fulfill the need. Fulfill like, okay, I need that shoe, but it didn't really. It was like a placeholder. And then when I got these, I was like, yep, these are it. Now I get the elephant print was inconsistent when it came to these pairs. And so a lot of people don't want to put these on there, they get disqualified. But for me, this shoe right here is number 2 because, man, the nostalgia reasons as a fan, as everything, like this shoe right here, I had to. So this is my number 2.
So now, if you want to, go ahead, Andy. Go ahead, Andy.
I got early access on them, but ended up getting them for somebody else. But yeah, I never get early access, but I got it on them for some reason.
See, I gotta say this though. So let's remove nostalgia reasons aside, right? That sneaker there is one of the most wearable that we got, right? It pretty much you can wear almost any outfit out there.
Agreed.
Right? That's number 1. Number 2, threes are one of the more comfortable Jordan retros out there as well, right? So, and it's also like because of the design of it, as you wear it, it's going to look better with wear. You know, when you think about a lot of the sneakers we got this year, like when they start getting worn in a lot, they're not going to look as good.
True.
You know what I mean? Like some of the like SB dunks, like even the Jarrito dunks, like think about it. Once you wear them in a lot, you know what I mean? Like that the way that toe area is going to look with the creasing, that shoe's not going to look as good anymore as it does brand new. Even trying to think, what's the other one? I mean, even the J tips, like you wear them a lot, you know, they may end up not looking as good. But those threes, you know, even if they get a little bit dirty, they're still going to look like a great shoe to wear that you can just throw them on at any point and they'll just kind of go with anything, man.
So you get it. Yeah. Yes, I had to.
Yeah.
Andy, what you got?
Are we number 2?
Number 2.
All right, number 2.
So my number 2 is the Union Jordan 1s.
Okay.
Really?
It's my favourite Jordan 1 of this year.
The BBSs?
Yeah.
Oof. Okay.
Show them some love.
I think they're gorgeous. Like the more I looked at them, the more with that weave around them. I know, again, another mixed review. A lot of people disliked them. I thought you've done something different to a shoe we don't really necessarily see a lot done to so often. Like, yeah, they're so gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so clean.
Yeah.
I love on foot. Again, that's another one where they should have added like teal laces because the little teal hits all over it. They should have had teal laces. I've seen the laces with teal, and it looks on.
I think Mr. Unloved Ones, he weaved a teal lace through there. Yeah.
I think he did.
But yeah,
I wanted to see them in hand, and I did. And I was like, let me see these in hand first before I really decide if I like them or not. And I was just like, nah. For me personally, I couldn't. I don't know if it's the weave is that big, or I feel like, I don't know, maybe it'd be better if it was smaller, or you know where they have like the stitching on the collar?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of that stitching there, that they put the weave on it. You know? Instead of weaving it all the way around the shoe. Because I think overall, like, if you take the weave off, it belongs. Like, it's a great looking sneaker.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think maybe the weave is too big, or I don't know. I don't hate it. I just couldn't see myself wearing that. I'm just like,
I think it looks really nice over the years as well, where that weave starts to do what that material does and starts to go really yellow and look aged. I think they'll look really. I think it'll add to the shoe.
I agree.
okay.
So yeah,
So for my number 2, this sneaker came out of nowhere. No one foreseen us getting this, and I'm talking about those Soulfly 8s.
Oh.
The Soulfly 8s.
Okay.
These here, like, first off, we got 2 pairs of 8s. We got 3 8s this year, right? We got those winterized, which I keep my eye on, but I've seen that price now starting to creep up a little bit on the winterized 8s.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, man, I better go get a pair before they get too high. But these the playoffs, but these Soulflies here, man, just because I went down to the Soulfly G-Shock release that they had down in Miami.
Okay.
And the owners, they were there walking around rocking the, some of them had on the highs, but some of them had on the friends and family pair too. That's supposed to come in like the wooden cigar box. But again, like just the storytelling of the sneaker and supposed to represent, the people of Cuba and just the different elements of the country, and then being here in the U.S., especially down in the Miami area, which is where Soulfly is. And then the box itself looks like it's a Cuban cigar box. You know what I mean? Like, and then you got a picture of Cuba on the inside of that box as well. You know what? That's another thing. You realize how many great boxes we've gotten this year with sneakers? With a lot of shoes have come out this year that have had a lot of great boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that really adds to a lot of these sneakers that we're getting too. It's not, Grant, you can't wear your box, but I mean, just when you go to talk about the sneakers themselves and show off the collection, I mean, all that goes with it, which I think is awesome. And next year we're supposed to be getting even more like crazy designs with some of these boxes, from what I understand.
I hope so.
I think as consumers, though, that buy a lot, it's the whole package to us. I think it takes a little more to please us. The average person who's just going to go and buy a pair of Nike Air Max 90s because they want a new pair of Nike Air Max 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with us, it's like we were saying with the paper, if it was webbing, it's them little bits that impress us. We know we want the shoe. We've already researched the shoe, looked at the shoe, watched somebody walk in the shoe on YouTube. We've done all this. It's them little bits of extra that impress us that little bit more that we want along.
I agree. I've not sold stuff because I was like, I love that box way too much, man. I'm gonna keep these joints.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think before these Soulflies, the last pair of 8s we got with a crazy box was Rory Hachimura's that came out last year.
Mm-hmm. I just sold my pair of those only because I
really.
The box. I wanted to keep them, but I was like, I don't have the box, so it doesn't pull me to it. I kind of want to get a pair with the box, and I'm not gonna buy like a box. So I was like, I'll just sell these, use that money to buy the pair with the box. Because I got mine from the Nike outlet, so I got them on sale. So
okay, yeah. Gotcha.
So I use that money to get one with the box because I heard stuff about the box and I was like, I need the box.
Do you guys feel it was disappointing that we got the Powerpuff Girl SBs with no box but a regular Nike SB box? We got paper,
100%.
Right? We got paper with them, but
100%.
There was no special box with it. You think you could have color coded the box to the shoe?
I found
something.
The demand for them weird with men. Like, I found that it baffled me a bit. I didn't really know what Powerpuff Girls were. I've heard of it. Never knew what it was. I never realised there were so many Powerpuff Boys. Like, I had no idea it was even a thing.
Yeah.
I looked into it. I was like, I mean, if next year they do a Barbie ones, a boy's going to be buying Barbie. And I'm saying this, and I own Strangeloves and things. You know, I've got pink shoes, but like,
I mean, if it's
I was like,
Ken SB,
cartoon.
a Ken SB.
Yeah, people gonna want both. Like, no, and I could be wrong with it. I'd never really heard of it. I was like, what? It's a cartoon. I just thought it was for girls. So I was a bit. There was someone in Mexico or something. They made them dress up like Powerpuff Girls to get.
Yeah, you saw that.
And they did.
You saw that.
Madness.
Yes, I seen that. A
That's
little
wild.
much, but you gotta do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So I got
That's wild.
friend, the local skate shop here. The way they do it is a little bit different. So it's the same with every other skate shop. We enter raffles on. They're more, if you shop here, we want to supply to you more than do a raffle. So they'll send random emails out to people who actually shop at the shop. So on the morning that they're going to drop them, they won't drop them on the same day as everybody else because they don't want you to see it. They'll randomly send out however many emails, and it's the first ones of yours to get around to replying to the email with a password. The password allows you to get onto their site and buy shit. I like the way they do it. If you are genuinely,
That's good.
I like that.
That's showing loyalty to people that actually shop at your store. You know what I'm saying? That's great.
You mean,
Yeah,
you
they'll be so
mean
happy.
loyalty is not selling 30
Girlfriend.
pairs in the back of the store?
I mean, I guess in a way you could kind of say it's backdooring, right? I guess you could look at it that way. But you would only see it that way as if you weren't one of the loyal members who got access to buy the shoe, right?
Exactly.
That's how it always is. If you're one of the people that missed out, then you hate me.
Yeah.
I think I actually agree with it. I think more skates, because I see a lot of them around Europe do that as well, in Italy or wherever. They'll kind of have two raffles. They'll have the first one for locals and people who genuinely shop here. Just if you think about it, pre-2018, who was shopping at a skate shop? I was.
Right.
And this is the thing, I've got loads of SB Dunks pre then. So it was before the Kardashians and Travis Scott wore one. How many of these people these days that love SB Dunks loved SB Dunks before? So I think I do. Yeah, I kind of like it done like that. I don't get an email for every pair. I think I've had probably 4 to 5 emails over the last 2 years, where you can probably think how many SBs have come out like since then. So it's not like I'm every pair, do you know, like it just randomly. I think the last ones was the Mummies.
Okay.
Them. I didn't want them, so they sent me the email for them, and I was just like, oh, I'm not. I don't sell anything, and I know I could make money on things. I just don't care enough to do it. So I don't buy things like that. I know I could have just got them and flipped them, but I don't care to do it. So yeah, I'll only buy what I want in my collection, and because I didn't want them, I didn't buy.
I think the only thing Travis Scott benefited me with was prior to 2020, I had an extensive Nike SB collection of Nike outlet finds, of just collabs and stuff that nobody wanted. I mean, I had Plum SB Dunks that no one really wanted. Got those for like $20. I had both Send Help Dunks no one really cared for. I had a bunch of SBs that just no one really cared for, and they just sat in the outlets. And I had like boxes and boxes of them. And when COVID hit and everybody was buying like crazy, and then the SB market just went insane, I had these $20, $30 pairs that I was selling for $250, $300, and I was like, you can have them. They're sitting here. You can have them. Here, buy them. So that's the only thing Travis Scott did for me, was help me with get some money in my pockets for 2020.
I heard you.
I paid $20 for them.
That's my favorite SB of all time. Hold on.
They cost £1.
Wow.
Now it's in hundreds, and I'm like, I paid £27, brand new.
This is my favorite SB of all time. I got these from a Ross Dress for Less for $30, and they were just sitting there, no love, no nothing, and I was like, thank you. And it was dope too, because like they sat there and everybody's like, oh, these are hideous and everything. And it's funny too, because I talk about shoes that are a little loud that I know how to work with, but these ones I do not care. I love these. I love those. Let me see, where's my number one? Oh, right behind me. You probably see it. This one. Now, with this shoe, we got stuff to talk about because I feel like no one's actually really having the conversation when it comes to these. I feel like people are trying to put it on the fence of either they are your sneaker of the year or they're overrated. And I for these,
Oh, come on.
for these here, because I've seen people like, well, if you're putting these in your number one, you're just doing it because other people are doing it. For me, this brought back like a moment. I don't remember another time where sneakerheads were all gathered together to figure out what the is Nike gonna do. Because I remember when they're like, Nike's gonna do an SB, and then it's gonna be a Jordan 4. We're all just like, a Jordan 4? Okay, what are you gonna do? And I remember seeing the Bread 4, and it had the SB in the back, and I was like,
Black
okay,
Cat.
the Black Cats with the SB in
Black
the back.
Cat 4,
okay,
yep.
what are we getting? And then they came up with this, and I was just like, okay. For me personally, I'm a fan of green. Green is my favorite color. So the fact that it's in green, that's a plus. That's always a plus. Now I've heard some people say, oh, it's just a military blue and green. Sure, why not? But the fact that they went in and said, okay, what do skaters like about shoes? What do they like to do? Why do you like to skate in Jordans? And the fact that they changed the material, the back tag, when they changed the material of this, just to make it more comfortable. Now, some people say they don't feel more comfortable. I think they do. Honestly, from wearing Jordan 4s all the time, because I know Jordan 4s are the hype right now in the community and stuff like that, especially with people who just are jumping in. I'm gonna be honest with you, 4s aren't the most comfortable for me. This pair I can wear all day and my feet do not hurt like that. But this shoe definitely for me was one of the rare shoes that actually brought a moment into the space in 2023 where everybody was trying to figure out, what shoe is it? What is it going to be? Where is it at? How can I get it? Oh, it's this shoe? What do I have to enter? What raffle do I have to do? And everybody had like interesting raffles about how to get it. Like I think it was Atmos who was like, send us a picture of you doing a kick flip.
Yeah.
Or something. Or it was just like, what's going on?
No.
Oh, go for it.
Go ahead. No. I was going to say, because then another one they had was, remember they used to do the bingo raffles?
Yes.
And you had to like have a picture of an SB shirt or a previous SB shoe, an actual skateboard. It was like a shoelace. Remember a box of shoelaces and all that. Yeah.
And that's the stuff I appreciate about being a sneakerhead. Little things like that where everybody's together and trying to figure out how do we get this shoe? What are we doing with this shoe? Do we like this shoe? Do we hate this shoe? All this stuff. And this was one of those shoes I was just like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I gotta have one of these. Because I remember back in the day when I was trying to skate and I wasn't really good at it. You know, I wasn't good. I remember getting the most massive skateboard because at the time they didn't have the little thin ones now that look better and everything. I had this massive skateboard and I remember busting my ass one time and that was it. Now I know a lot of skaters go out there and they hurt themselves and break bones and stuff. All I had to do was slip off the skateboard one time and fall and be like, you know what, this is not for me. I'm good.
That's funny.
I don't like this feeling. I don't like this feeling. I don't know how you guys feel.
That's funny.
You know, you get on it and you're doing all the basic stuff. You're like, you know, I got this. And you try to do something a little extra. And you're like, you know what? No, this is not for me. So for me, that shoe right there is definitely sneaker of the year. But there is one shoe that is the unanimous 3-year champion.
3-year champion.
3-year champion, sneaker of the year.
Okay.
I think you guys know what shoe I'm talking about. Is the only shoe that stands the test of time. It is currently the best shoe in the world, and that is the undefeated 3-time champ Nike Panda Dunk. Let's go applause for the Panda Dunk. Sneaker of the year, 3 years in a row. The
Panda Dunk
always sells out, always in resale shops. That dunk is universal. You'll see it at a Got Soul, you'll see it at a sneaker con, you'll see it at a grocery store, you'll see it at a university. That shoe.
Yeah, I think that depends. because here now that wave's been and gone. They're on sale. Like they're like £40 shoes now. Like
Really?
on sale.
Wow.
It's gone. Yeah, and yeah, people kind of clown it a bit now. I think.
It's for what? That's my thing.
With,
Why?
with do you know the?
It's stupid.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't care. I have for me the panda dunk is the pigeons. Like that's my panda dunk. I've got the panda pigeons, so I never wanted a black and white. It like yeah. But yeah, no, I watched it come and I watched everybody want one, and you couldn't go anywhere without seeing 36 girls who all used to wear dirty white Air Force Ones and now all in panda dunks. Every single one, like
Yes.
or all of that.
Yes. Dirty ass Air Force Ones.
Now they're all in like gazelles and sambas, like that's come around again now. So they're all
Sambas, yeah.
But it was never really.
Sambas.
They were just selling it. People just realised I can make money off this. But yeah, no, the panda dunks are done here. Like it's been and gone. Now they're on sale.
They still everywhere out here, and just
Yeah, man.
strong.
Everywhere.
Resale is
Everywhere.
down, but they yeah, people got 2 or 3 pairs, and then you can't wear a single like the black and white 85s, the Jordan ones. I can't wear those out. I can't wear those out without somebody saying, "Oh, you got the pandas on?" No. No.
Yeah, man. You know, yeah, the panda dunks. You know what's interesting? It's funny because I feel like a lot of people they can't think of anything else bad to say as far as other shoes they don't like, and they just know everyone else said panda dunks are bad, so they say panda dunks are bad.
Agreed.
So like a lot of people are sheep in that way.
True.
Me personally,
those
like
videos.
That's exactly the
yeah,
same.
like
The amount of people.
every time you go, oh, the panda dunks are the worst shoe ever. Like how? Because you as a reseller were definitely trying to sell them not that long ago,
Facts.
right? You were definitely trying to get your hands on all the pairs you could and sell them. And now all of a sudden it's the worst shoe of the year.
Facts.
I have a
Worst
lot
shoe
of
ever.
that though with Jordan 2s. A lot of people tell me how bad Jordan 2s are. So then I'll ask them, have you ever worn a Jordan 2? And they'll say no. I say, what have you got to compare it against though? Like if you've never had one on your foot, how do you know? How do you
Yeah,
know?
why do you not like Jordan 2s? Like why? That's what when I ask certain people why they don't like a shoe, they just go, oh, well, like they stutter. And they can't really think of anything. They just know other people don't like them. But let it be some heat. Let it be. You know what? That's why everyone always try to say, let someone like Travis Scott have a Jordan 1 mid. Then everyone's going to be on mids.
Facts. 100%. 100%.
They say no, but they will.
Do you think
They will. Do you think he would ever do a mid?
No, do you think? I don't think he has that effect on every shoe. I don't think. Look at the Mac Attacks.
Here's the thing with the Mac Attacks.
The same
First
shoe.
off, it looks just like the regular Mac Attack. All they did was
They
reverse
released
the
earlier.
started one. You know, so there's nothing really different about it. Yeah, they tried that marketing ploy, adding John McEnroe in there for that fake argument that they had. But you know, when people get them, it's like it's almost like the Air Force One Utopias.
Yeah.
You know, like
Waste.
yeah, it was a waste. Like I actually bought that shoe, got it here, and then I'm looking at it. I'm like, first off, you didn't even give us special paper. You didn't give us a special box. Like at least then I could have said, all right, well this was worth it. You know, I got something added to the shoe. You know, when we talk about, you know, the details, but there were no details. And then when you scanned it, it came back as a regular Air Force One.
Yeah.
It didn't even come back as the Travis Scott Utopia. It came back as a regular Air Force One.
Oh, I'm crying. I'm messing up my whole set.
So, you know, that with the Mac Attacks, I mean,
Oh, yes.
a lot of people aren't really feeling the silhouette to begin with.
That's true.
I would
You
say
know, they're not. But
pair don't own the original pair or the pair that dropped previous exactly the same. It wasn't Mac Attack fans that have gone, oh my god, he's done this to that shoe. They just wanted that one because of the reverse swoop.
But listen, the thing with mids are, if you look, there are some mids that are actually up right now in resale.
That's true.
Okay, there are some mids up there in resale, but there's a mid dropping next year that there was like a small article about it on Soul Retriever, and I forget what they're calling it, but what it does is it's supposed to pay homage to the very start of basketball.
Okay.
And from the pictures and stuff I saw on it, like it's supposed to be like all premium leather, pretty much, that they're putting on this thing. I gotta find the name of this shoe again. But I looked at it and I'm like, there's like a hang tag on there that's supposed to be part of it. Like, yeah, like this whole setup on there, and it's a mid. You know what I mean? I feel like they could throw a good quality at them. And here's the other thing too, right? How much do mids run? How much do they cost?
Right, though, it looks nice. Like, there are pairs of mids that are, like, I think...
Correct. How much do mids cost? What is the price?
Like 140?
130? 140? Okay. Now, they give the mids a lot of times BS leather. The airships cost the same amount of money, and the leather quality on some of them are better than Jordan 1s.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So what does that tell you? You giving us a lot of I'm telling you, a lot of premium materials when it comes to these airships for 140. Jordan 1s run you 180, and a lot of times the quality of these airships are better.
They've done this year with all the Terra Squad Air Force Ones, though. The material on them is unreal. Like, for an I can't remember another Air Force One at that quality, even around the tongue. When I was like, so it showed you. So you can give us this for this much money, like,
Yep.
you choose.
And people will buy it. You know what I mean? People will buy it, but you know, I feel like up until this past year, Nike's been able to be lazy as far as what they put out with, you know, storytelling or non-storytelling with the shoes, you know, non-accessories with the sneakers, and a lot of it was all coming off of during the pandemic with The Last Dance.
Agreed.
The Last Dance just made everything kind of skyrocket.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? So now everyone's talking about, oh, reselling's going to die and sneakers are dead. And it's really not. What it's done is it's now equaled back out to what it was pre-COVID,
100%.
where you couldn't do anything else but hyper focus on something to keep yourself busy.
100%.
And that whole 6-part documentary, I mean, just think about it. When you watch it, it's like it is a full Jordan hype video. It is.
Yep.
It is. I mean, they had a whole episode dedicated to the sneakers. And it made a lot of people go, oh yeah, Jordan sneakers right here. And then they learned, wait, they've been sitting on shelves? And so a lot of people started to buy them, and then all of a sudden, the inventory started to dry up. And so then you had the implementation of people trying to bot, because you couldn't put in any footwork. So then it seemed even more limited. You know what I mean? And like I said, now you can put in footwork. There's all types of ways to go out here and try to cop these shoes, which is why the market, in my opinion, has dropped down. Plus, Nike themselves they stated they're trying to kill resale.
Yep. We can have a full conversation on what the pandemic did to sneakers. Like, it's honestly insane. It's honestly insane.
It is. It is.
But let me hear some number ones. Let me hear some number ones.
My number one was your number two. My number one was your number two. I mean, listen, this may not have been, you know, this is a reimagined pair. It's not technically OG, but it's built to OG specs.
Yep.
You know what I mean? This is as close as we gonna get to OG specs with that whole Nike Air on the back. The only reason why this shoe isn't looked as fondly as people, I feel as though should, is because of that elephant print issue.
Yep.
Those QC issues that happened were what killed it.
Yeah.
I remember the one had a Nike Air on the back and a Jumpman on
I remember
the
seeing
other.
that. I remember seeing that.
Now, to me, I feel like that's something that would shoot up in price because it's rare. Because what was the episode where, damn, these guys were out in Cali? They got a resale shop. They got a pair of black and gold Jordan 1s, and the one swoosh is upside down. And they were, I forgot who they were, was it Soldier Boy they were talking to about
It
it?
was Soldier Boy, yeah.
They wanted to charge 40, like, what was it, 30,000-40,000 for that pair or some nonsense like that?
Oh, yeah, on Cool
So,
Kit.
yes.
On the top,
Yes.
yeah, I remember that.
Yep. But then there was also, if you recall, how Finish Line tried to release them. Because they didn't do in-store exclusive access. Remember, you had to go in and scan that QR code for the in-store raffles. And that's a whole other can of worms we could open up. But I don't know why for this shoot they tried to change up their whole exclusive access system. You know, and I feel like that added to people's frustration in trying to get the shoe. So it was somewhat of a frustrating cop, you know, even more so than when you think about the Jordan 1 Lost and Founds. Like, that was a major frustrating cop. But for some reason, like, the love of that shoe hasn't dropped.
Yeah.
These threes, they did. Because the ones they had the mold issue and all that crap too.
Mm-hmm. It was an all around bad release, all around. Not trophy.
Yeah, my
all around.
Yeah, my sneakers that froze.
Mine did too.
Mine froze. I had to pay resale for them. That's one of the pairs I got from eBay. I paid resale for them.
Mine froze. Said I got them, and then got refunded.
No.
Froze, and I was like, I don't even know if I entered, because I kept hitting it, and it looked like it went through. I don't even know if I entered, and then out of nowhere, I'm trying to refresh, I'm trying to do all this stuff. I get this email saying got them, and I was like, okay, great. And then a few weeks down the line, I'm like, my shoes ain't even been shipped or anything. Refund.
Andy, how did it go down to the UK though? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, one of my local shops here, they'd done a raffle a few days before the drop, so I already knew I was getting them when they'd done the raffle, and I'd entered the raffle, and they'd sent me so I didn't even bother on sneakers. I was kind of quite, I already knew I'd got them, so it was.
But they didn't put out any information as far as how the app was doing the release.
Well, the shop didn't, because the store had them in store, so they do their own
Well,
raffle.
I know. I'm just saying, like, as far as, like, you know, talking to other people who had to go for them.
I heard it was bad in America. I don't think it was the same here. I think America had issues, I think. Well, I say that every raffle, people moan every raffle, don't they? Because how many people are really going to get the W compared to the amount of people who won't? So every release
is true.
Is the majority of the people are going to be annoyed.
But if I'm going to take an L, at least let me get into the app and take it. You know, I couldn't even get in. To try.
I read something or saw something the other day, and it actually made me think, because I'd never really thought about it at this way before. And they said, do you think the decline in maybe interest in Jordan is because obviously every year we get further away from Jordan when he played, and the people who are into these were people that remember Jordan playing, or they have this affinity with them, whereas the generation now these days, like there's the 15, 16, 17 year olds wasn't even alive when he stopped playing, so they don't have that same thought of Jordan that people who were around have the thoughts of Jordan. And I'd never really thought about it like that, because it's just Jordan. I never really actually thought, like, I wonder what the 15 and 16 year olds actually think that are buying shoes. Yeah, it's interesting. When I'd read it, it made me think.
That's a good question.
Well, you know what? I was at my brother's neighbor's house today, and their son think he's about 12, and he ran inside and he's like, oh, let me show you the shoes I got for Christmas. And he comes back out. He had a pair of Jordan 5 Jade Horizons, but then he also had a pair of Fire Red 5s. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of these Jade Horizons. I want to keep these Fire Red 5s. So I think it's there for them, but maybe it's like certain silhouettes, certain colors
Yeah.
that they'll be interested in. I mean, when you look now, I mean, look at the J tips, right? How often did we really see sneakers that the mainstream people wanted that came like that?
Mm.
Usually those were like little kid style shoes that no grown person was really messing with.
It's true.
Mm.
And so when you look at there's certain Jordan ones that drop, like, okay, Palomino, UNC toes. Trying to think what else came out this year, Jordan 1 wise, that people were after.
Oh no, the Royals sat, didn't they? Like, I was surprised with that. I thought they'd go. The satin breads, they sat. Like, these are shoes I thought were gonna go.
Listen, I think satin breads got a bad rap from influencers.
Yeah, they were sabotaged.
They were sabotaging it. They were because people were on. Listen, I was upset I wasn't able to get an extended sizing, but it was a great shoe. Like, it was a bread Jordan 1, even regardless if it was just for the ladies. Like, guess what? There are men out there with small enough feet that could have fit these. So the fact that they dogged them to the point now where they're, way below retail is just crazy to me.
Yeah, they dogged them. They compared them to that first release. They're not numbered. Oh, why are you releasing those? You're making my pair for less value. Yeah, definitely sabotage.
Oh, I can't stand hearing that.
Yeah,
You're making my pair feel less valued.
Me neither.
I mean, you don't actually like the shoe. You just like the prestige that you think it brings you.
Yeah. But
If it wasn't for that, then you wouldn't even have it.
We know this. This is always around this thing. Doesn't take long to be around people to find out who really likes this and who really likes them because they think you like them. Like, it doesn't take long to work that out once you are around people.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
As soon as they start talking about how much the shoe costs on resale, that's how you know.
Exactly. When you wear your pair somewhere, and it is like they just come up to you like, how much you pay for those?
Yeah.
How much I pay for them? No, who cares?
Or it's, I can't believe you're wearing them.
That one's crazy.
I can't believe you're wearing them.
You wearing those outside? Yeah. Yeah.
Shall I do my
your number one yet? Oh, my bad.
number one? It's obvious what my number one is. I've been shouting this since the day they dropped.
He's bringing them out. I want to see it.
Obviously.
The J tips.
For the reason that I said before, because nobody has put eyes on this brand the way that this guy did. The shoe is the materials, the stitching, the look of it. This shoe is wild. Like, I like the little tribute to Nipsey on the back that he's done. I like the little details, everything. His first shoe made by him. I like the packaging, how he's gone to the level of it with the packaging. Telling people who didn't think he was going to make it, he's put it all over the box. Remember who fronted. Right, remember these people. I love the thing on the
nice.
Yeah, the detail of this shoe. Everything about it, like from the day that this dropped, and I already knew this was my shoe of the year. You've noticed as well probably that I haven't put any 3s or 4s or anything. Like, I only wear Jordan 1s and 2s. That's it. I have.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't wear any other Jordans, 1s and 2s. That's it. It's just never been my thing. It's just never. It's just never been my thing to wear them. So I don't go for them. I don't wear them. I can appreciate them, but it's just not my style of shoe. But yeah, this, I knew the day I watched all the promos. It felt a little bit like I think the average consumer wouldn't have seen it like this. And I'm not saying by any means this shoe is on the same level as the shoe I'm going to say, but the rollout felt a little similar to the Wotherspoon 97 ones. The way like sneaker kind of coming together, and look, it made this little, by nowhere near the level of the 97 ones, but the rollout of it just had a certain thing that reminded me, like I've not seen that since the 97 ones. But I think it's everything I'd want in a shoe of the year. Something that's just different that you don't really see all the time. Yeah, that's my shoe. I've been raving about this since the day that it dropped. And yeah, because I think there's a lot of Saucony's dropped this year. I think they've had their best year they've had for a long time as well. I think they ended last year with like the End fried chicken pair that comes in like a chicken box. I don't know if you've seen them or not. They look like a fried chicken.
I've seen those.
They dropped them. Dropped the food fights, and then they dropped I love coffee. Like, I live off coffee. It's all I do. I love the coffee pack they dropped this year as well. Like the cappuccinos, the quality of them is unreal. They love food for some reason. They love a food collaboration or a drink one. I think the Crystal Caves, they were dead. They've just had a year that like I'm into them anyway, and I like them. But I think this year they've upped it. I don't think they've opened people's eyes like New Balance did a few years ago, where we're all very aware of New Balance, but all of a sudden people saying more than it's a dad shoe. Now it's becoming a thing. But I do think it's coming if they carry on the way that they've been this year, because I think for me, as somebody who knows the brand, who likes the brand anyway, I've spoke to more people about them this year than I ever have any other years.
That's number one. Yeah. When you can talk about a shoe and extensive, like all three of our number one, it's something that we can like have full conversations about. And I think that's what people forget. Like a lot of people, they'll have a list and then they'll choose hype, and then I'm like, okay, so why is that your number one? Oh, because it was it's $1,000. But why is that shoe your number one? Oh, because everybody was talking about it. But why is your shoe number one? Oh, because everybody else's list says this is great. And it's like, let's have a conversation and let's figure out like, okay, the fact that you can tell me this Jordan 3 is my number one and this is why makes sense to me. This J Tips is my number one and this is why. That makes perfect sense to me. This Jordan 4 is my number one. That makes perfect sense to me. And it's like, let's have a conversation, guys. So many people just throw their list up and I'm like, okay, why? Huh? It's the list. I'm like, come on, man. That's it. Give me something. Yeah.
When you've done this for a long time, and it is like your like all that goes out the window anyway. I think every year we all know, like I imagine with my 10, there'll be very few people who would pick my 10. Very, very few. Like, if they were to look at all of our free lists, they're going to be a bit like, right, he's chose some pairs that I would never have put in there. But they don't have to, because it's my list. Like, it's what I'm going to rock. It's what I wear. It's my style. It's my thing.
Exactly.
I'm covered for, like, and I'm not saying it's a bad shoe. It's not. I just wouldn't wear it. It's like the SB4s. Like, I wouldn't put that in my list. I completely get why it's in lists. But for me, it's
exactly
the other side of things. Like, it is what it is. Like what we like.
Yeah, like with the SB4s, like if throw all my shoes aside, like me personally, I feel like SB4s are the overall number one of the year because it's the first of its kind. You know, it's the first of its kind. It's completely restructured for a purpose, right? And now, some people may not agree with like the coloring of it and all that, but I mean, just the overall fact that, they took a Jordan 4, they combined it with an SB. Now, granted, we've had Jordan brand and SB collaborations on a lot of ones, right? But this is the first of its kind on a 4, and then they restructured it for functionality. So you have the overall look because it's a Jordan 4, but it's also it's purpose built, right?
Yeah,
and there's no other shoe out there you can say that's purpose built and also just wearable like an everyday shoe like that. Like I don't see people really trying to skate in Jorito dunks.
Nope, me neither.
I don't see anybody who's going to try to skate and born and raised dunks. Maybe you have like one or two, but think about everything they put around like the mud. I think on the mudguard area, isn't there writing on it? Isn't there
Yes.
something on the mudguard? Like, you're not trying to get that all beat up. You know what I mean? But like the SB4, I've seen a pair of SB4s beat up from someone skating in them. And they didn't look that, even though I knew they were beat up, it was still like, yeah, you can still wear those.
Yep. Hey, I appreciate you guys for rocking with me, and definitely, I definitely want to bring you guys back on, only because the conversation that we had today, there was so much that we could have talked about.
Yeah.
And I feel like that needs to be talked about, and just the vibe that we had, like I feel like we need to definitely come back and finish these conversations. But before we end this episode off, please let these people know where they can find you at. What are you guys doing? Any videos, YouTube? Like, what are you guys doing outside where people can find you guys at?
Go on, you go, because they can't with me. I'm just on Instagram posting shoes. It is what it is. I'm just a sneaker. I do post shoes, but you do things. So you tell them.
All right, so my name's Lewis. My channel is WhereYourKicks26 on YouTube, and same for Instagram. And I do sneaker unboxings. I do some vlogs. Post some funny shorts out there surrounding sneakers. You know what I mean? But that's where you can find me.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate y'all for coming through, and y'all got to come back because we there's a lot we got to finish talking about.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot we got to finish talking about.
That we do.
You guys
I got
an
SB collab that I think they should do, but we'll talk about that another time.
You said it. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time.
Right.
Peace.